Well, I've done it. I said I would do it, and I did it. I'm a man of the people. I have to do these things. For science, for entertainment, for you. I went back and watched Game 7 of the Tampa Bay series to verify if, in fact, the Montreal Canadiens only registered 9 shots on goal. Something that I didn't really want to relive. But were the NHL officials correct? Let's talk about it. This actually wasn't as bad as I made it out to be in the introduction. Actually look forward to watching any hockey at this point. Even the bad games are fun to watch. It's fun to pick them apart, you know, but recently I've been watching older games. I watched the 93 Cup run. I did watch some other playoff games this season. So I watched this one, the Game 7 Tampa series, the Game 7 Buffalo series, Carolina Game 1. I'm probably not going to watch the other Carolina games, but we don't have to even wait that long anymore. Training camp is right around the corner. I think Montreal usually starts around the 7th. So that's like less than 2 weeks away. And as things start to heat up for the season to start, I think we'll start seeing more news. Like just today, Connor Hellebuyck, another domino from the US men's Olympic team, has fallen. He's requested a trade out of Winnipeg, taking the selfish way out, chasing glory the easy way. Someone said earlier today, well, it's like any sports fandom. There's a lot of delusional fandoms out there, and one of the delusional fandoms that I see often online, making believe as if they have like cupboards stocked full of assets, is the Edmonton Oilers fan base. They're suggesting that they should go out and get Hellebuyck after just getting Jari, after just getting Anderson, after just getting Levi. But they're saying go get Hellebuyck. He's going to bring us to the promised land. And I made the joke, wouldn't it be funny now that Stuart Skinner is on the Winnipeg Jets, he becomes the first string goaltender. Connor Hellebuyck goes to the Edmonton Oilers. Both teams get to the playoffs. Hellebuyck chokes, Skinner stays hot the entire time, and Winnipeg goes and wins the cup. Forget being devastating for the Oilers fans if something like that happened. I think that Connor McDavid would sign in the KHL after something like that. But let's get into this video because the results, I guess, they're kind of interesting. And this is a game that I watched a couple of times before, but I never looked at it very critically. It was always kind of in the heat of the moment, during the time that the Montreal Canadiens were in the playoffs. But watching this through a different lens, it was eye-opening. So this is an interesting game. Right from the start, it was chippy. Noah Dobson was back after his hand injury. He was off for quite a while, if you remember. His hand is likely healing in this game. It's definitely not healed, and both teams are just playing with a ton of urgency. Neither team is really letting each other get quality opportunities, but certainly Tampa Bay was getting the better of the opportunities this entire game. Only problem is Jakub Dobeš was out goaltending the Vezina winning goaltender Andrei Vasilevskiy. So Tampa is doing anything they can in their zone to make it impossible for Montreal to get set up for shots. And when I say doing anything, like anything, holding is not being called. There some calls that could have certainly been interference during the regular season. Montreal does register their first shot with less than 2 minutes into the game. And then at 8:09, this looks like shot number 2, but no, it goes off of Radish. So not a shot here, but so close. Then Slav puts one off the post here. I watched this back. Vasilevskiy did not get a piece of it. I think that they called that Vasilevskiy did get a piece of it. I really don't think so. So I'm still saying that we're at 1 shot here. But now basically halfway through the first period, Slav puts one right on Vasilevskiy. This will be the second shot of the game as Slav here gets taken down with a leg sweep that of course goes uncalled. And now we see Caulfield in tight. Bartlett says that Vasilevskiy gets a piece of this one, which at this angle would have meant a shot registered on net, but I really don't think so. I think Bartlett is wrong here and the shot is wide. So I'm not going to call this the third shot, but now Noah Dobson will register shot 3 when he puts one off the blocker of Vasilevskiy. First game back, broken hand, but still wiring shots. Still in the first period, and Montreal finding opportunities, but puck not getting through to the net. But then Carrier Gets 2 amazing chances in close when the puck gets coughed out from the corner. Watching this back, the first shot does get through. If Vasilevsky hadn't have stopped this, it would have went in. I've drawn a line here. It might be debatable, which we'll talk about at the end, but at minimum, this is post and in my opinion. Then we see Gouli throws one on net. Suzuki tips it and it goes in off a body. That's the 5th shot of the game for the Canadiens. Tallied at 4 here, but that's how the first period would end with Montreal up by 1. Second period, now this one, no doubt, Tampa. They controlled this period. They played mostly the right way in this period as well. They are just checking right through Montreal. Worth noting that Tampa had 2 power plays in this period. So did Montreal. Tampa racked up the shots on the power play. Montreal, on the other hand, only registers 1 shot, and it only comes at 18:35, the 6th shot of the game for Montreal, but it doesn't count. And watching back this second period, what I thought was remarkable was just the lack of execution by the Canadiens. They did not look normal. Missing passes, throwing it away, turning it over, allowing the puck to go over their sticks. It was like a bunch of guys that have never played with each other before. And I think that Josh Anderson being on the first line wasn't helping. The best thing that Josh Anderson could do for that first line was be the first man in to touch the puck, but he wasn't doing that. And if he was, it wasn't to retain possession. Tampa was very quick to hop on the back check. And they were just beating the Habs. As the second period comes to the close, Montreal has 22 shot attempts, 6 shots on net, but officially 4 shots on net. On to the third period, 5 minutes into the third, Suzuki puts his 3rd shot on net and just 7th of the game. And at this point, doing this little exercise, I thought, yeah, there's no way with 15 minutes left of the game that Montreal doesn't get another 3 shots on net to beat that 9-shot ultimate total. Well, we'll get to that. And here, I had completely forgot that Hagel does this little dirty swipe at Dobson's broken hand. I like Hagel as a player, like he's tenacious, but that's no good. That's dirty. A little bit later now, Caulfield flips the puck in. Vasilevsky, probably a little uneasy here because he's not being tested, has some trouble with it. This should be the 8th shot of the game. Now, the shot counters will erroneously count this shot as a shot registered on net, which is kind of hilarious here. Suzuki shoots it deflects off of Kucherov's stick, and it flies over the boards. Something else about this game in this third period, to Tampa's credit, they are desperately protecting the net. There's a little flurry here. In like about the span of 30 seconds, they block the puck something like 5 or 6 times. They're literally like diving in the way of the puck head first. 3 or 4 really good opportunities from Montreal here, and it gives them a lot of energy. So Montreal smells blood. Tampa is slowing down a little bit. They're not the first one to get into their zone and touch the puck first anymore. Montreal is able to get set up, and Newhook jumps on fresh. Hudson puts one on net, which does register as a shot, and then Newhook bats one in. The go-ahead goal. Newhook, of course, the hero of Game 7s. So Newhook bats it in, 2-1 Montreal. That was shot 9 and 10 by Lane Hudson and Alex Newhook. So already, I believe they have surpassed that 9-shot total. Now, I think after this, they do one more face-off and they go for a commercial break. When they come back, it is tallied at 8 shots on net. Nick Suzuki registers another desperate shot on Vasilevsky. To my count, this would make it 11 shots. And we're going to squeeze one more dump in on the shot counter, as this would have went in if Vasi wouldn't have stopped it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
So this is August 28th whiskey coming into bat cleanup. Yeah, by my count, we finish at 12 shots on net. Officially 9 shots on net, but I think they were just a little bit off. I thought there was going to be a more compelling result. I thought maybe there would be a flurry of shots where maybe they didn't count 1 or 2 or 3 maybe. But yeah, that's not how this game went. It was a very tight game. It really says something when you're not allowing this Montreal team to get shots in. And that's not to say that this team isn't guilty of not putting a lot of shots on net, but the criticism that they're usually guilty of, which was passing too much, that wasn't a problem in this game. They just did not have the opportunities for clear shots on net. And that was a big credit to Tampa. Cole Caulfield, you saw him trying to adjust his game. In the first period, he had 4 hits. And that was something that I watched the whole game. He really needs to sit down in the lab and figure out how he can be a more valuable player in the playoffs. And I think it's probably a combination of risk management and just pouring on the offense, because that's his strengths. So if he could kind of carefully predict when the puck is being turned around, and if he's playing a series like this one or like the Carolina one, where you're not going to get room, you're not going to get it. Well, you could pick worse players than Cole Caulfield to play off the rush or to put your chips on for getting sprung on a breakaway. But yeah, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed watching the team. It was interesting to watch the first line again without being just so frustrated. It really was a race to the puck in the offensive zone. And even if Josh Anderson was crashing and banging behind the net when the puck is getting deep, Tampa would expect that, and they would have another defender back. And then whatever Caulfield and Suzuki were doing, they didn't matter. They were just wiped. Something else for them to figure out, I think. So again, not the most compelling result, but for me, there's no doubt it was more than 9 shots. It's not something that I would take to the court and say, hey, Your Honor, my client was unfairly judged because of a low shot count. They actually had 3 additional shots. Yeah, they got outplayed, outcoached, whatever you want to call it. But that's hockey, baby. Sometimes it doesn't matter. Just look at the Canada-US Olympic game. Same difference. That's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your continued support. Should be a good weekend. Hoping for warm weather so we can go swimming. And I've still got stuff to do in my office. There's one element that I'm really excited to try to pull off if I can. I'm excited to show you guys. So stay tuned, and you guys know what to do. Like the video, helps me out with search results probably, I think. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I'd love to have you. And as always, I will see you down in the comments.